Jello Beats, holla at me.
Hey guys, so before we get into the contest prep update, I thought I'd just introduce you to little Dougie. You want to say hi to the camera, Dougie? Look, there you go, look at yourself. Look there. There you go, there you are. So Dougie's a little Labradoodle. Picked him up yesterday and he is the coolest dude ever. He's just chilling. And he's quite needy. So like if you leave him alone for like a minute, he'll want to play. He's got little toys. He's got a little cow toy that he loves throwing around the garden. But as soon as you pick him up, like he just wants to give you love, and he's a little playable thing. Anyway, you'll probably be seeing more of Dougie now and again. We might do a Q&A. Yeah? Do a Q&A? Do a Q&A. Oh, fuck no. We'll do a Q&A with Dougie at some point. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the video. Cheers guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another video. This is going to be another contest prep update. So you guys have been enjoying these, which I super appreciate. And it's cool to know that this year I've got probably the most ever people sort of following my journey and having, I guess, an expectation of me, which is kind of like this cool pressure element, which I really like. Like I revel in that. I'm totally cool with that, because I think some people can respond to it badly, and the pressure of external viewpoints or what people think of you or what people expect of you is sometimes bad. But like, I love the idea that people expect me to be in a certain way and to do a certain caliber of job at the show. So like, I'm just very much appreciative of you guys, like anyone that does check in and watches these. That's why I'm trying to stay as upbeat as I can and as positive, so that these are enjoyable to watch. And there's a cuddly hippo in the background, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. So this week, 4 weeks out from the first show of the season, obviously I'm doing multiple shows. I might do as many as 3 qualifiers, and then we'll see as to whether we get, obviously like we talked about in the last video, we get through to the next stage, which will be British finals. So that's how it works in the UK. You do like a qualifier, and then you do, if you place top 2 usually, sometimes top 3, depending on the class and the caliber of on the day, you will go through to a British final and compete against the best of the best. So 4 weeks out, which is like a month, which is not long at all, so not a huge amount of time to make significant changes yet. When a pound comes off now, it's big. So I saw a 0.7 drop this week, which I'm happy with. The reason why I'm happy with that is because it kind of, at this stage, I want to lose at a little bit of a reduced rate. And reasoning behind that is because we are really trying to spare as much lean muscle mass as possible. But to spare lean muscle mass, you've got to reduce the rate of loss. If your prep looks like loss, holy shit, I'm behind, let's lose really, really fast, you're going to sacrifice muscle mass at the end, guaranteed. And that's why I hate it when sometimes I do have to rush the process a little bit with people that just haven't given themselves enough time, or show dates change, etc. It puts me in a bad position as a coach. So give yourself enough time is the key point here, because you want to hold on to as much of that hard-earned muscle mass as possible. So 0.7 down, which is perfect, yet I do definitely feel like my progression towards the end of the week in terms of fat loss, and my progression in terms of visible loss alongside scale loss, has definitely stalled. So I will be implementing a change for next week, which I will run through. But my macros for this week have been 280 carb, 45 fat, and 180 protein. So we made some decent drops over the course of the last update, which they definitely provided what we needed. However, I have felt hungry and I have felt tired and draggy, but I haven't felt horrible. I really haven't, and I definitely haven't felt flat. Now, I'll put up some progress images along the backside of this this footage. The backside, Jesus. I'll along the side of this video, I'll plot some images, so we'll follow them, and you can have a look as to how I'm looking currently. But I don't feel like this is a flat look for me. So I feel like I can certainly push fat loss a little bit harder, and I think that the rate of loss might not change too drastically, but I want to more importantly ensure the rate of loss. So I can't really afford to have another week of just thinking that these macros will get me through it. Whilst they might, I think I need to be a little bit more assertive in my changes and just make a little bit of a bigger drop, and just like hopefully that will see me through a couple of weeks now, and I can trust that. It's not the case of do I think that I could lose on these current macros, because I don't think I can. I think the way that my weight has been trending, it trended down at the start of the week, hit sort of a 157 low and then just stayed there. So I'm really feeling like I know my body very well, and I know that I do need a change right now. Whereas there's been other weeks where I've said, I know my body, I know that I can get through another week on these macros and I'll be fine. So it's about knowing when to make changes, and this comes just over time. Like, you get to learn your body and how it works, and when you need to make adjustments. So other things, I didn't refeed this week, and that didn't have an adverse effect on training performance too much. My training performance throughout the week was very, very good. In fact, I hit, the other day I hit 150 for 15 on back squat, which was awesome. I've been implementing down sets on both of my back squat days. So I hit 177.5 for 6, which I'll probably be tapering down a little bit next week, as that was a little bit dodgy. And not in terms of depth too much, but just in terms of like how it felt, and the risk element, the risk factor of that is just getting stupidly high. Like, I could just seriously like pop off my left leg and be left with a lot of issues, including walking. So I'm not really prepared to risk that. As sickening as I am, I don't think that I want to do that. So I'll be backing off just a little bit, just to ensure that the control is there, and that we're not risking injury massively at this stage, because we are in the deeper parts of contest prep, where joints, tendons and ligaments are a little bit more suspect to being battered and injured. So we don't want to get injured, and not at all. I'll be very, very angry if I get hurt. So touch wood, let's not get hurt. So we're going to be a little bit safer with some of those movements. Still going to attack them, of course, and aim to retain training volume, but we're just going to back off the loading just a slight bit, just to ensure that we're doing things well. But nevertheless, 2 lower body days went really, really well. My pushing movements pretty much retained across the board. No progression to talk about, but retaining stuff is really exciting for me. If I manage to retain a session, that's a good session. And pulling movements, likewise, pretty much retaining across the board. Little bits here and there in terms of maybe a slight bit of volume increases on some things, but mainly we're looking at a standardization of form and a retention of volume. And that really has been the goal for the past few weeks, which is good. I'm very excited. So actually 3 weeks of really hard training to go. And then the last week will be a little bit easier. We back off. We do lighter workouts to an extent. We do more sort of like circuit style sessions towards the latter end of the week to take down any sort of acute DOMs or soreness, to allow for a greater uptake of glycogen, and to really get a peaked look. I will still peak, but I will most likely be doing a refeed 1 day out and using the majority of the week for fat loss, because I do at this stage think that I do need that extra week, as opposed to a full-on peak week where you might sacrifice a week of fat loss. I think I prefer to have that week to ensure some more fat loss, and then potentially further down the line, one of my later shows, we can do a full peak week, and I'll probably do something like a rapid backload, where I do sort of do a carbohydrate deplete followed by a carbohydrate load, which will be exciting because I'm planning to sort of test run that at some point as well. So yeah, a very good week in the books. Some things that I've advanced. I've bought my blackout sleep mask, which is just like a sleep mask thingy, which is great. That's superb for blocking out any light coming into my room. And then I also wear the orange blue light blocking glasses, which I kind of got the idea off Steve Hall, Matt Ogus, Chris Barakat. So I've used them, and anecdotally I can say I am sleeping like a goddamn child. Well, a really well sleeping child. Or I'm just sleeping like I'm knocked out, basically. Like I just sleep like a log. It's really cool. So, and I think that's had a huge effect on me, just feeling half decent throughout the day. I get to my most groggy point around about now, like midday-ish. Draggy feet, etc. Sometimes I have draggy feet when I wake up and don't want to go and do my cardio, etc. But other than that, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling like a half alive, which is good. So I got my high fat, lower carb day today, which I only do once a week on a rest day. The rest of the week is prioritized with carbohydrates, because hashtag carbs for condition, as some people use. But I do think that kind of rings true for a physique athlete. I think carbs are very important. And cardio is just like 4 sessions of 30 minutes on the stairs, and then I'm hitting anywhere between 12 and 15,000 steps a day. So they've certainly come up to sort of increase the deficit a little bit, and just because I kind of like walking at the moment, I'm enjoying getting steps, and I enjoy that element, and it's not taken away from my leg training at all, as you can see by my strength retention. So my legs don't feel sore or swelled or anything like that. So we're in a good place. Cool, guys. I think that's pretty much going to be it for this week. I will be sure to check in with you guys next weekend, and then I think the weekend after that I've got the BMBF Central to go to, supporting a client who's actually a junior. So very much looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks very much for following, guys, and we will speak soon. See you in a bit.